The Catcher and the Rye by J.D. Salinger. I'm going to summarize the last 11 chapters for you. The next day, after Holden's night with the prostitute, he makes a date with Sally and has breakfast with two nuns. Then buys a record for Phoebe, Little Charlie Beans, and becomes really happy from seeing a boy singing "If a Body Catch a Body" coming through the rye. Then meets a little girl in the park and offers to buy her ice cream, but refuses. After seeing the museum, he says every time anyone goes to the museum, they are older, but the museum will always stay the same. Then meets Sally, goes to see the lunch, goes ice skating, and asks to go away with him, but says no, and calls her a royal pain in the ass, leaves, and has a sandwich. Calls Jane, no one answers, calls Louise to have drinks with him later that night, goes to see a war movie, and thinks about DB and says he could never join the military and he'd rather sit on top of an atomic bomb. Meets Louise, tries to talk about sex, and formally gets told to see a psychoanalyst, and Louise leaves. He gets drunk, calls Sally, walks to the park to find no ducks, breaks the record and worries about getting pneumonia, talks about Allie's funeral, and heads home to see Phoebe. Gets home, watches Phoebe sleep in DB's room, and says kids always look peaceful when they sleep. Wakes her up, talks about her play, and father's going to kill him, and gets cigarettes, talks about nuns, James Castle, and the dream of catching kids off of a field of rye. Calls Mr. Annalini, then dances with Phoebe, talks about leaving New York, receives Phoebe's Christmas money, and gives her the protective shield, the red hunting hat, and leaves. Arrives at Mr. Annalini's house, talks about feeling pensy and the size of his mind, and goes to sleep on the couch. Wakes up with Mr. Annalini stroking his head, hurries out of the house, and sleeps at a station. The next morning, he walks around Fifth Avenue and feels like disappearing at every curb, and pleads with Allie to not let him go. Goes to Phoebe's school, writes her a note to meet him at lunch at the museum, sees "fuck you" on the wall, gets mad, leaves, helps two kids find the mummy exhibit, and passes out in the bathroom, and finds that Phoebe wants to go along with him, but says no. She gets angry and won't talk to him. They both headed to the carousel after the zoo, and Holden receives his hunting hat back from Phoebe, and he thinks he might cry. He gets sick, goes to a rest home, and is going to school the next fall to apply himself, and he misses the people in his life. That is the summary of the last 11 chapters. The three symbols I'm going to talk about are the ducks in the pond, the Museum of Natural History, and the title, The Catcher in the Rye. Where do the ducks go during winter? Well, Holden asked this question many, many times because it's a sign of his childhood. Like when little kids are playing in the mud and with bugs, they enjoy themselves, and that's a memorable time for them, and they don't want to let that go. This shows that Holden is still attached to his childhood and doesn't want to let it go. He is so terrified and afraid of the idea of change or disappearance. He doesn't want anything to go away. He wants everything to be exactly the way it is and never change. When the ducks leave, he feels lost and angry, like when his younger brother Allie passed away. The symbol of the ducks keeps Holden from becoming an adult and losing his innocent childhood. His joy and happiness comes from the ducks, and he does not want anything to ever happen to him or anything to change. The Museum of Natural History. The best thing, though, in that museum was that everything stayed right where it was. Nobody'd move. You could go there 100,000 times, and the Eskimo would still be just finished with catching those two fish. The birds would still be on their way south. The deer would still be drinking out of that watering hole with their pretty little antlers and their pretty skinny legs. And that squaw with the naked bosom would still be weaving that same blanket. Nobody'd be different. The only thing that would be different would be you. Not that you would get so much older or anything. It wouldn't be that exciting. You'd just be different. That's all. Well, the displays always are unchanged, and every time a person visits, they're always the same, but that person is always different. He wants life to be like this and never get older or never change what they are doing. This goes along with his dream. Every day he wants to catch kids having fun off of a cliff of rye. He wants everything to be the same and simple and understandable. Unlike our world we live in today, with many challenges and levels, he wants everything to be simple and easy. The Catcher in the Rye. Holden first hears this from a little kid on the side of the road. Holden's dream is to catch little children off of a cliff of rye. He first hears the song, "If a Body Catch a Body Coming Through the Rye," from the little kid, and this goes along with his dream. But the actual lyrics, "If a body meet a body coming through the rye," told by Phoebe, is the actual song that was written. This means that two people are having sex in the middle of a field where everyone can see. Holden adds catch to this song because this explains his dream, and it shows that he is willing to catch the kids' innocence and stop them from becoming adults.